Bezat Shem Book would begin Perek Shein of the second chapter in the Rambam's Hilchos Shabbes Laws of Shabbos and the Sefer Zmanim, the book of the designated times, which in this Perek we just continue regarding the halachas of Shabbos, but in the exception what's called sakanas nefashos, when there's danger to a person's life. So Rambam begins halacha off regarding the category of what's called a chayla shish b'sakana. There's an ill person that is danger to his life. Dechuyahi Shabbos etzel sakanas nefashos. Shabbos is pushed away when it comes to the danger of a person's life. Kashar kol mitzvahs, like all other mitzvahs, are pushed away in saving a person's life. There's a sick person that is danger to his life. You do all that he needs on Shabbos, based on a professional doctor of that place. Let's say you're not sure, do you have to do you need to desecrate Shabbos for this person's life or not? Let's say you have one doctor saying you have to desecrate Shabbos to save his life. But if one doctor says it's not necessary, it's okay, it'll be okay. You desecrate for this person the Shabbos, because even a doubt regarding a person's life overrides the halach of Shabbos. Let's say it was evaluated on the day of Shabbos, yet this guy's going to have life-saving operation, and which requires malachas to be done. And so to bechin l'shman yom, so too it's going to have to be done for 8 days. Einam, we don't say, okay, look, namtan ad erev, let's wait till the evening. We don't have to desecrate 2 Shabbos. For 8 days we have to be doing malachas for him. Let's start tonight and then only have 1 Shabbos in the 8 days. No. You start today, which is Shabbos, and you desecrate on it even 100 Shabbos. As long as he needs and there's a danger, even as a doubtful danger, we desecrate the Shabbos. We light for him a lamp, a candle, and if necessary we extinguish a light in front of him. We'll slaughter an animal for him to eat. We bake and we cook. We warm up hot water for him. Whether to give him to drink, whether to bathe his body. But the rule is Shabbos when the Shabbos regarding a sick person that is danger to his life, it's like a weekday for whatever things that he needs. Now, when you do these malachas for him, we don't have it being done which oftentimes you want to have it be done through a non-Jew. It's only rabbinic prohibition. No, not through a non-Jew. Not through minors. Not through slaves. Not through women. We don't want Shabbos to be light in their eyes. Like, okay, you do it. Rather, we do it to the great ones of the Jewish people and their sages. It's forbidden to even delay desecrating the Shabbos for a sick person that is dangerous to his life. Shemai says in the Pasuk Yikra, the mitzvahs are that the person should do them, that he should live with them, but not die by them. So you learn from this, the judgments of the Torah are not revenge on the world. It's mercy and it's kindness and it's peace in the world. These heretics that they say, desecrating Shabbos forbidden. Then the Pasuk says in Yecheskel, and I also gave them statutes that are not good, and judgments that they will not live by. That's not our Torah. Our Torah is kindness. And if it's to save a person's life, yes, one could be Mechal Shabbos. Halacha Dal. Now, if someone has a pain in his eye, and that is, it's either in both of them, or in one of them you have tzir. You have some type of like a guk. Or there were tears that were streaming from the eyes because of the great pain. Or there was blood that was dripping out. Or there was like a piercing pain. Or similar types of these illnesses in the eyes. That's included in the category of a sick person that is danger to his life. We desecrate the Shabbos, and we do whatever is needed for the therapy, for the medicinal part of that person. So if there's a wound, an internal of the person's body, we call it internal wound. Anywhere from lips and inward, whether it's in his mouth, whether it's in the intestines, whether in his liver, or his spleen, or any other place, whatever's in the cavity of the person, that is a chilul is considered a sick person that has danger to his life. You don't have to evaluate if it's dangerous or not. You treat him. Because you covered who it's a very serious illness. They desecrate the Shabbos without evaluation. And the wound that's on the back of the hand, the back, the top of the foot, it's like an internal wound. Again, you don't have to evaluate it. You automatically desecrate the Shabbos. Regarding the heat, fever, that's piercing the flesh. It's like an internal wound. And desecrate Shabbos. Any illness that doctors say that there's danger to a person's life, even if it's totally on the outside in the skin of a person's body, you would desecrate the Shabbos based on their word. Someone swallowed a leech of the waters, type of a creature that leech that sucks. You heat up hot water for the person on Shabbos, and you do whatever medicinal needs the person has. That leech can be dangerous to a person's life. So if a deranged dog bit him, a mad dog, or one of the reptilian creatures that slide on the earth that could kill. Or maybe we're not even sure. Is the venom dangerous? Could it not be lethal? Either way, we do all types of medicinal needs to save him. Regarding a sick person that the doctors evaluated, he has to have one dried fig. Now, so 10 people ran quickly, it's dangerous, he needs this fig. At the same time, they all came running with 10 dried figs. So they're all going to be exempt from doing malach on Shabbos. Even if they didn't all come at the same time. They came one after the other. Even if it was already healed from the first fig, because they all brought it with permission and they're all exempt. Now, if there was a sick person that needed 2 dried figs, now they only found 2 dried figs on 2 different stems, which required 2 times tearing off from the source, or 3 figs and 1 stem. So they cut off the stem, the branch that has 3 figs, although you only need 2, so that we should not increase the malacha of harvest, of cutting, which would be of 2 of them. Rather, what you do is you cut up 1 stem, you don't cut up 2. If we can minimize the malacha, we're definitely going to do that. Halacha test. Although, again, you only need 2, and that one has 3, but again, that's 1 malacha, that's 2. If someone cooked for a sick person on Shabbos, which we said you're allowed to, now the sick person ate, now he has leftovers. The healthy person around over there is forbidden to eat the leftovers, because there is a rabbinic decree, because then maybe the people will cook more for the healthy people around. He's allowed to cook for the sick person, might cook more, which is forbidden for the healthy person, so you can't eat because you might end up cooking more for them if they know they could eat. If someone slaughtered for a sick person on Shabbos, the healthy person is allowed to eat from the raw meat because there's no addition of the Kaddish that we should decree Shemiyab B'Shul, they might increase for him. It's 1 act of Shechita, that's it. You have to do it anyway. And the anything like that which would not have a Shemiyab B'Shul would be permitted. Halacha Yud, regarding this Chayla Shem we said, we talked about Chayla Sheyesh B'Sakana, now regarding Chayla She'im B'Sakana. Sick person that there's no danger to his life. Chayla She'im B'Sakana, Eisen Lekot Tzrachav, you could do whatever he needs, but al Dinachri, through a non-Jew, which is not the same as a Jewish person doing it himself. Ketzar, how so? He tells the non-Jew to do, and he does. Let's say is to cook for him, or to bake, or to carry some medicine from one domain to another domain. Similar types of things. So for a amir la'akum, to tell a non-Jew to do is permitted. So let's say he's ill, but it's not danger to his life, but he needs medicine in his eyes, he could have it from a non-Jew on Shabbos, even though there's no danger with it. Now, if he needed certain things that there's no malacha, so then you can even do it through a Jew. If you can live from malin as naim b'Shabbos, you can lift up the tendons of the ears on Shabbos, and you can go ahead and lift up the cartilage that's by the heart, which prevent a person from breathing well. You could return when the person has a fracture. Also like that, which no malacha, mutter would be permitted even through Yisrael. Halacha regarding a woman giving birth. Hayeledis kishekedas leiled. A woman giving birth when she's kneeling to give birth. So she's in the state of danger to her life. And if you could desecrate Shabbos for childbirth. You could call her a midwife from one place to another place. You could cut off the umbilical cord and you tie it, that it should not create an injury. And if she needs a lamp to be lit when she's screaming in her the birth pains, madlikin lasaner, we light for her a candle. Even if she was blind, which obviously she can't see, but since she's settled when she knows that people could see because there's a lamp, even if she doesn't see, we light it then. If she needs, let's say, oil or similar types of things, we bring it for her. Now, whatever we could change, what's called a shinui, which downgrades the malacha, so then we change it when it's being brought. For example, so a friend who's going to bring in the oil should bring it in a vessel that's hanging in her hair, which is not the normal way of carrying. Now, if it's not possible, then she brings it in the normal way. We don't help birth the idolatress, the non-Jewish woman, b'Shabbos and Shabbos, even for pay. I mean, during the weekdays, it's permitted for pay because then it might cause hatred if we don't take it for pay. But on Shabbos, we're not concerned for hatred because the Jewish midwife could say, look, we could only do it for someone who keeps Shabbos. And even if there wouldn't be any chilul of Shabbos, any actual desecration of Shabbos. But because since there's no problem of Eva, so we're not allowed to do it. During the weekday we have to because of Eva, but on Shabbos it won't be Eva, even if it's not Chil Shabbos. But we do help to give birth the daughter of a resident convert, which is a Gentile who accepted not to do Avodah Zarah and to fulfill the other Sheva Mitzvah B'nai Noach, even though he didn't circumcise and didn't immerse himself, so he's not a regular ger. But there we do help them give birth, and they show because we were commanded to help them survive, to live. But you cannot do it if it's going to require any chil of Shabbos. Halachid Gimel Chaya, a woman who's in childbirth, Mishiyascha Adam Liyashaisis. Once the blood starts dripping, until she gives birth, and after she gives birth, until 3 days post-natal, Shabbos, we desecrate the Shabbos for her. We do whatever she needs, whether she says tzricha I need it, whether she says I don't need it. Now, from day 3 till day 7, if she says, I don't need, so we don't desecrate the Shabbos. If she's quiet, I don't have to say if she says, I need something, we desecrate the Shabbos for her, because she's still in somewhat of a critical situation. From day 7 to day 30, she's like a sick person, but there's no danger to her life. And therefore, even if she says, yes, I need malacha to be done, in Oislam malacha, we don't do malacha for her. Only through a non-Jew, which we said you could use to do malacha for a chedesh in b'sakana. You can make a fire for a woman giving birth, even in the summer months, because the cold is very harsh for a woman giving birth in the cold places. But you cannot just make a bonfire for a sick person to warm themselves up with it. Let's say someone did some bloodletting and they became cold. You're allowed to make a fire on Shabbos for them, even in the summer months, because they get very cold and it's very dangerous to their life. We also bathe the child on Shabbos on the day that they're born, after they cut off the umbilical cord, even if it's with hot water that was heated up on Shabbos. Which literally means to say that they salt him, but they put on him like the dust of the myrtle and similar types of herbs to soften his skin. And they wrap him to straighten out his limbs. Because it's dangerous for the baby if they don't do these things for him when he's born on Shabbos. They also bathe him before the circumcision, after the circumcision on Shabbos, and also the Yom HaShlish on the 3rd day post-circumcision, even with hot water, he would have on Shabbos, because again, it's dangerous. The child's in the critical state in those times. A woman who was sitting on the birthing stool, and she died in childbirth. So we bring a knife on Shabbos, even means to carry through a public domain. The curtain is crazy, so we tear open her belly, and we take out the fetus from the womb, because we might find the baby alive. Because the doubt of the life of the baby will override Shabbos, and that's a chiddush, even for the baby, which not even have a prior status of being alive. For that sake, that maybe the baby is alive, from its inception, we're allowed to be Mechal Shabbos. Halacha design continue with this halacha of pikuch nefashos, of taking care of a person's life. So mefachin pikuch nefesh b'Shabbos. We're allowed to go ahead and take care to save a person's life on Shabbos. You don't have to take permission from the courts. Whoever is swift The quicker you are, the more praiseworthy you are. He sees on Shabbos a child, a baby falls into the sea. You let us stretch out a net and take out, even though tzad, trapping is a malach on Shabbos, you let us spread out the net and save him. Even though he's going to be trapping fish with it, which is a malach on Shabbos, that's permitted. If he hears that a child is drowned by the sea, so and so he stretched out his net to take out the child. The actually doesn't get the child; he only gets the fish itself. But he's still exempt from everything. Now, but let's say he's going fishing, and he's trying to catch fish. And he happens to not only get the fish, but to save the child. Then pater, he's going to be exempt. Doesn't say pater meklum; he's going to be exempt. And he didn't even hear that the child drowned. Since ultimately he took out the child with the fish, pater is going to be exempt. If a child falls into a pit, so you could uproot from the earth, and you could take him out. And that's even if he's fixing steps when he's ripping out the earth, still he's allowed to do that. So let's say the door got locked in front of a child. You could break open the door and take out the child. Although when he's breaking the door, he's making it into like certain woods that are fit to do for malacha, to do work with it. Because the child might become frightened, locked behind the door, and he's going to die. Or nafla dleika, let's say there's a fire. There's a person over there that they're afraid might get burnt. You're allowed to extinguish the fire to save him from the fire. Although is now by putting out the fire, he's actually making a path. It's actually fixing it when he's extinguishing it. Again, all these things are permitted. However, is the first to save. It is the praiseworthy. You don't have to take permission from the courts for anything that's a danger to a person's life. If a building collapses on a person, not even sure if he's there or he's not there, you could clear the rubble. If they find him alive, although he was crushed, it's not possible that he's going to survive. Still you clear the rubble, and you take him out to survive for those moments, whatever moments he'll have, even though he will never completely recover. Now let's say they check and they see the person who was crushed under the building, up until his nostrils. And they don't find any breath in his nostrils. They leave him over there. He's already dead. You can't be Mechal Shabbos anymore for the dead person. Let's say there were many people in the building, and they checked and they found the upper ones were dead. They shouldn't say that means the lower ones are already dead. No, rather you clear for them all. It's possible when the building collapses that the upper ones will die, and the bottom ones will still be alive. Let's say it was a neighborhood, it was a courtyard where there were non-Jews and Jews. Even if there was one Jew and 1,000 idol worshippers, and the whole building collapsed on them all. There's apartment building, you clear the whole thing because of that one Jew, because of a halachic concept known as kol kavu, whatever is set, when they're in the stationary, it's like 50-50, no matter what the ratio is. So because of that 50-50 odds, you have to do that for the possible Jew. Now, let's say one of them from these 1,000 people, let's say, went to another courtyard. And then that courtyard where he went to collapsed on him. We don't know who it is. They're also going to clear, because since most of them stayed in their place, so that kavias, that stationary part really remains because most of them are still there. So it's still the suffix, because maybe that one out of 1,000 who went was the Jew, and the Shema, if they come, maybe the ones who remained were the non-Jews, so you have to clear that rubble, maybe being the Jew. However, let's say they all left. All the 1,000 people left from this courtyard, all visiting, going to the next apartment building, to the next courtyard. Now when they all left, from those, as they're leaving, one of them leaves the crowd that's leaving, one of them left, and he went to a different courtyard. And their building collapsed on him. You don't know from the 1,000 left which one it is. There you don't clear the rubble on him. Since they all were uprooted from their place, that's what's called the parish. When they separate, it's not kavu anymore. And then you don't say there's a Jew over here. And whoever separates from them when they're going, the presumption is that called the parish, whatever separated, meruba parish, from the majority separated. So we presume it's from the 999 or whatever 1,000 non-Jews, and not the one Jew. In contrast to when it's stationary. The majority were Jews, so even if they all had moved and one of them separated to another court, and the building collapsed on him, and then you're going to clear it because we go based on the majority, with most were Jews. Lachav base continues, what happens if a person also to stay alive, but he got lost in the desert? But someone was going in the desert, lost track of time, he's lost, doesn't know which day is Shabbos. So what he does is, so the day that he realized he made a mistake, he starts counting Shisha, 6 days, and then the 7th day, from the 6 days that he counts, he sanctifies that at the 7th day. He makes the brachas of the day of Shabbos, makes Abdullah on, so to speak, Matzah Shabbos, his artificial Shabbos. Now, every single day, and even the day that he makes Kiddush on, he makes Abdullah on, it's his artificial Shabbos, every single day, including that Shabbos, you only work the amount that he needs to survive, that he doesn't die, meaning he'll be doing malachas, picking from the cactus plant, whatever it is, that he doesn't die. But for us, he's now doing more than what it takes for him to survive, because every single day, Sabbath Shabbos is maybe Shabbos. So he can't do malacha. Now, but let's say he knows that is and the reason why he celebrates that 7th artificial day is just as a way of remembering Shabbos, although it's not necessarily the Shabbos. Now, but let's say he knows it's day 8 from when he left. Doesn't remember what day it is, but it's definitely day 8, which is the same day that he left. Because day 1 is whatever day it is, Tuesday, day 8 is going to be Tuesday also. So let's say he knows it's the 15th day from when he left, which is the same thing. Or the same thing, meaning he knows that this is the day, just forgets what day it was, and he knows it's that same day. That day, he's allowed to do whatever malach he wants to do. Why? Because most definitely, he didn't leave with a caravan on Shabbos. So he knows if this is the day 8, so it must have been Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever, Friday, whatever day it is, he knows this day, which is the day he left, just a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, for sure it wasn't Shabbos, that day he can do malacha. But all the other days besides for this day, he only can do what he needs to survive, because again, that he might have left on a Friday, and now the next day is Shabbos, so it could have been a Monday, whatever it is, so then the other days he wouldn't be able to do. Look, Gimel continue on this theme regarding Pekuach Nefesh, regarding war, or regarding saving a person. So Goyim should tzara ala Yoris Yisrael. So Gentiles that laid siege to Jewish cities. So it depends. In if they're coming because they just want to steal, they're coming for monetary reasons. So you're not allowed to desecrate Shabbos. You're not allowed to fight a war with them. But if it's a city that's by the border, even if they're coming home to straw and stubble, that's different, because then once they breach the border, then the whole country could be susceptible. Then you go out on them with weapons, and you desecrate the Shabbos. Now, however, in any place, even not a border, if they're coming to kill people's lives, or they're literally fighting a war, or they're just laying siege and we don't know why, then we go out against them with weapons, and we desecrate the Shabbos. Mitzvah kol yisrael, and there's mitzvah on every Jewish person that could go and to come lazar lachim shabamatzah, to assist their brothers in the siege, and to save them from the Gentiles on Shabbos. And it's forbidden for them to wait up until after Shabbos. Now, when they save their brothers, they're even allowed to go back after they fought, to go back with their weapons to where their place was on Shabbos. Why is that permitted? Why are you allowed to do Hilchos Shabbos for when you're coming back? Not to cause them to stumble in the future, because they might hesitate. I'm going to leave Shabbos, I'm not getting my challenge, I'm not going to come back. If I could come back, so it's not going to prevent the person from going who wants the person to go, and therefore they what's called hitur safe in mishmit and they permitted the end because of the beginning. Lochav Daled. So if there's a ship that's shaking in the waters by the sea, in danger of going under, or you have a city that's surrounded by a siege, or it's being surrounded by a river that's going to flood it. There's mitzvah go out on Shabbos to save them, however which way a person can save them. Even the individual is being chased from the Gentiles, or because of a snake or a bear, which is chasing after him to kill him. It's a mitzvah to save him. Even by doing many prohibited activities on Shabbos. Even to make a weapon to save him is permitted. We scream regarding them. We do supplications on Shabbos. We can blow the trumpets on them. To assist them. But do bakashes and we don't scream, al dever b'Shabbos, we're running a plague on Shabbos. Lo chafei, tsaran al yoros edik achab, we can lay siege to the idol worshipper cities, shleisha yom kain l'Shabbos, only was 3 days before Shabbos. But once there is a war, you fight the war every single day, even on Shabbos, until you conquer it. Now, and that's and that's even if it was an optional war. Which from tradition they learned the pasuk in the Rambam that says till you take it down, which is to tell us even if it's on Shabbos. I don't have to say for sure that you fight the war when it's a mitzvah war, which is to conquer Eretz Yisrael, because like Yeshua only conquered Jericho Yericho only on the day of Shabbos, because that is permitted.